Hey, good morning. Had to fix something right there. All right. This is our last week of school. So I wanted to get as many stories in here this week as I can so you'll have something to listen to over the summer. If you want to listen to them at the library, listen to them at home, however you want to listen to them. And I'm going to read one of my favorite books today. It's one of my new favorites that I found since I've been the librarian. It's called The Day the Crayons Quit by Daywalt. It's illustrated by Oliver Jeffers. The back says, the battle lines have been drawn. So they're all picketing. But I love this book. I love The Day the Crayons Came Back. That's another one of my favorites too, by Daywalt. We're going to start. This book is an AR book. It is, the reading level is 3.8. So that's third grade, 8th month. So if you're about to finish third grade and you're reading right on track, you should be able to read this book. The 8th month, I mean, since we go to school 9 months out of the year, that's how that 0.8 or 0.7, when we talk about it in the library, that means third grade, point, and then whatever month. So if it says 3.5, it's third grade, 5th month, third grade, 6th month, whatever that number is. So that's a way that you can tell what your reading level is. It's worth a half a point, but half a point's better than no point at all. The quiz number is 159597 if you want to take an AR quiz. Okay, so here we go. The Day the Crayons Quit by Daywalt. I even wore my purple crayon hat because purple is my favorite color, and I love the smell of a new box of crayons. It brings such joy. 12 in a box, says the crayons, and the sign outside says, "We're not happy." Nobody likes unhappy crayons. One day in class, Duncan went to take out his crayons and found a stack of letters with his name on it. That's pretty unusual. We don't see mail like that anymore. Rarely do we see it tied with string. Usually if we see it tied with string like this, it's for decorations, decorative purposes. "Hey, Duncan, it's me, Red Crayon. We need to talk. You make me work harder than any of your other crayons. All year long, I wear myself out coloring fire engines, apples, strawberries, and everything else that's red." Can you think of anything else that's red that red crayon would be used for? "I even work on holidays. I have to color all the Santas at Christmas and all the hearts on Valentine's Day. I need a rest. Your overworked friend, Red Crayon." Cherries, that's something you could color red. What else could you color red? Can you think of something else that you could color red? "Dear Duncan, all right, listen. I love that I'm your favorite crayon." Mine too. "For grapes, dragons, and wizards' hats. But it makes me crazy that so much of my gorgeous color goes outside of the lines. If you don't start coloring inside the lines soon, I'm going to completely lose it. Your very neat friend, Purple Crayon." Okay. I don't like to color outside the lines. I get kind of picky about that. I get kind of finicky about that. And it's good for your muscles if you practice using small strokes with your crayons instead of scribbling. It develops your muscles. "Dear Duncan, I'm tired of being called light brown or dark tan because I am neither. I am beige, and I am proud. I'm also tired of being second place to Mr. Brown Crayon. It's not fair that Brown gets all of the bears and ponies and puppies while the only things I get are turkey dinners, if I'm lucky, and wheat. And let's be honest, when was the last time you saw a kid excited about coloring wheat? Your beige friend, beige crayon. If you color a picture of yourself this summer with a tan, you could color yourself beige, some of you. Okay. Some of you are just naturally lucky to have that pretty beige color. Duncan, gray crayon here. You're killing me, man. I know you love elephants, and I know that elephants are gray, but that's a lot of space to color, all by myself. And don't even get me started on your rhinos, hippos, and humpback whales. You know how tired I am after handling one of those things. Such big animals. Baby penguins are gray, So are very tiny rocks, pebbles. How about one of those once in a while to give me a break? Your very tired friend, gray crayon. See, he shows him. There's the elephant and the rhino. No, the rhino and the humpback hippo. Is that a hippo? Yep, that was a hippo. Sorry, not a humpback whale. But he also shows him, if you can see here, the little penguins and the pebbles in the background. What would you color gray? The skies last night were gray. When it rains, the sky gets gray, the clouds get gray. That could be something that you could color gray. You could color the rain gray. What else could you color gray? Dear Duncan, you color with me, but why? Most of the time, I'm the same color as the page you were using me on. White. If I didn't have a black outline, you wouldn't even know I was there. I'm not even in the rainbow. I'm only used to color snow or to fill in empty space between other things. And it leaves me feeling, well, empty. We need to talk. Your empty friend, white crayon. See? There's a white cat in the snow by Duncan. White cat in the snow. Look, can you even see the white cat or the white crayon? You can only see him because he has his wrapper on and he's got that black stripe around him. And the blue shadow where he's standing. Hi, Duncan. I hate being used to draw the outline of things that are colored in by other colors. We have the opposite problem of white. All of which think they're brighter than me. It's not fair. When you use me to draw a nice beach ball and then fill in the colors of the ball with all the other crayons, how about a black beach ball sometime? Is that too much to ask? Your friend, black crayon. Black crayon, and he's pleading and begging, please, please use me. Have you ever considered using black for something other than an outline? Our pupils are black. You can color our pupils black. What else could you color? When it's really stormy out, you can color the clouds black because that's what they get almost. Or the night sky, that's black. Dear Duncan, as green crayon, I am writing for 2 reasons. One is to say that I like my workloads of crocodiles, trees, dinosaurs, and frogs. I have no problem and wish to congratulate you on a very successful coloring things green career so far. The second reason I write is for my friends yellow crayon and orange crayon who are no longer talking to each other. Both crayons feel they should be the color of the sun. Please settle this soon because they're driving the rest of us crazy. Your happy friend, green crayon. Okay. What could you color green? We talk about recycling. Being green means being earth friendly. So trees, anything you want to recycle, right? Okay. But look down here, he's saying, psst, psst. Orange and yellow, they're not getting along. We got to do something about that. Have you ever been called on to help somebody with a problem? Maybe you have 2 friends who are not getting along and you want to help them. Okay, that's what green's doing. Dear Duncan, yellow crayon here. I need you to tell orange crayon that I am the color of the sun. I would tell him, but we are no longer speaking. And I can prove and I'm the color of the sun too. Last Tuesday, you used me to color in the sun on your Happy Farm coloring book. In case you've forgotten, it's on page 7. You can't miss me. I'm shining down brilliantly on a field of yellow corn. Your pal and the true color of the sun, yellow crayon. See? Bright yellow. Look. Orange crayons on. Go away, little man. Go away, little yellow crayon. You're bothering me. If you're going to make an argument for yourself, bring proof. Dear Duncan, I see yellow crayon already talked to you, the big whiner. Anyway, could you please tell Mr. Tattletale that he is not the color of the sun? I would, but we're no longer speaking. We both know I am clearly the color of the sun because on Thursday, you used me to color the sun on both the Monkey Island and the Meet the Zookeeper pages in your Day at the Zoo coloring book. Orange, you glad I'm here? Ha! Your pal and the real color of the sun, orange crayon. Now, Orange wasn't being very nice. He was calling Mr. Yellow Crayon not very nice names. We don't do that. You're going to make an argument for yourself. Don't stoop to calling people names. It's not what hornets do. We're respectful and responsible. So see, 2 orange. All he had to do was bring proof that Duncan had used him twice to color the sun. No need for name calling. That's not good. Dear Duncan, it has been great being your favorite color this past year, and the year before that, and the year before that. Okay? I've really enjoyed all those oceans, lakes, rivers, raindrops, rain clouds, and clear skies. But the bad news is that I am so short and stubby, I can't even see over the railing in the crayon box anymore. I need a break. Your very stubby friend, Blue Crayon. Thing down here in the corner. All short and stubby. It looks like one of those little toddler crayons that they make, the fat ones. But they're usually a little bit longer than that. So Duncan has used blue, blue, blue. What would you color blue besides what we named? Blueberries, that comes to mind. Blue forget-me-nots, those are flowers. Dear Duncan, okay, listen here, kid. You have not used me once in the past year. It's because you think I'm a girl's color, isn't it? Speaking of which, please tell your little sister I said thank you for using me to color her little princess coloring books. I think she did a fabulous job of staying inside the lines. Now back to us. Could you please use me sometime to color the occasional pink dinosaur or monster or cowboy? Goodness knows they could use a splash of color. Your unused friend, Pink Crayon. See, I have a pink shirt on. I like pink. What would you color pink? What would you color pink? I think I saw Mr. Floyd in a pink shirt today, too. You could color clothes pink, right? I saw somebody's shirt today or the other day that said, I make pink look good. Okay. We use pink in ribbons for breast cancer awareness. We see a lot of pink in October. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So pink isn't just a girl color. There's no such thing as girl colors or boy colors. They're just colors. Hey, Duncan, it's me, Peach Crayon. Why did you peel off my paper wrapping? Now, I'm naked and too embarrassed to leave the crayon box. I don't even have any underwear. Would you like to go to school naked? I need some clothes. Help! Your naked friend, Peach Crayon. I have a lot of naked crayons in my book, in my library. A lot of naked crayons left over from years gone by that we put in a basket and we use as spares. Ugh. It must be very embarrassing for peach crayon to be naked and stuck in a box. Frustrating too. Don't peel your crayons. They don't like it. Well, poor Duncan just wanted to color. And of course, he wanted his crayons to be happy. And that gave him an idea. See all the letters he's read? He took the time to read every letter that was written to him. And some of you in the last few weeks have written me some very nice letters. I got some for Teacher Appreciation Week, and I got some earlier in the year from very special people, and it really made my day. So sometime just do something nice and write somebody a letter. You'll be surprised how much it means to them. They may even write you back. When Duncan showed his teacher his new picture, she gave him an A for coloring. Look at all the different colors. Look, is that a pink dinosaur? And Santa's still got a red suit on, but he has an orange hat. And we have a purple flying dragon, colored neatly, and blue alligators and an orange whale, and oh look, a red elephant and a blue school bus. He did pretty good. He was very creative. Oh, look, an even white cat. There's a white cat there, but look, he's got a green background so you can see him. That means Duncan listened to what his friends were saying, his crayons were saying. Do you listen when your friends talk, or do you always think about what you're going to say next? Listen, because you might learn something. Duncan also got an A+ for creativity. We all have that creativity in us, some more than others, but we all have the ability to create and do. We all have an imagination. Sometimes we just don't use it. So I like this book because it talks about how to work out a problem. If you have a problem with somebody, just kindly tell them what the problem is. Talk to them about it. Talk to them nicely. Talk to them like a friend and explain without name calling. Don't be an orange crayon. Don't call people names. Okay? Don't get mad. Just simply say, hey, I have a problem. Here's my problem. How can we work this out? If you don't know how, go ask your teacher. Go ask Mrs. Henry, Mr. Floyd, Mr. Bush. Somebody in this building is always willing to help you work a problem out before it gets out of hand and you start yelling and saying things that you don't mean. Okay? I like that book, but I also like this book too because it encourages creativity. Okay? Yes, in real life, bears are brown, and skies can be blue or black, and hearts are red. Canaries can be yellow, grass is green. But in your world, what do the colors look like in your world? What do bears look like? What color are they? Use your imagination and make up your own world. It's good for you. It exercises your brain, and you don't even have to break a sweat. All right? Now, this is our book for the day, but I also want to tell you, as I take my crayon hat off, I also want to tell you about a new series on Netflix. And normally I wouldn't tell you about a television series because I want your nose in a book. But I got an email today from one of my book companies that I buy books from. And specifically, I buy these books, the Who Is or Who Was books. Okay. I just found out this morning that they have a new series. They've turned some of these books into an animated series on Netflix. It's called Who Was. You can go on, if you have a Netflix account, you can go look it up. It's live action. It's historical. There's historical pieces in there. There is also animated stuff. So I'm excited. I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I also wanted to show you some of the Who Is, Who Was books. We also have What Was, like what was Pearl Harbor, what was the Battle of Gettysburg, stuff like that. But I picked out some of my favorites. It was hard because I love all of these books. This is Who is Dolly Parton? I picked out Dolly Parton because she has a foundation where she gives books to kids who can't afford them. That's awesome. Because if you have books in your home, you are very, very fortunate. Most of the world can't afford to buy a book, especially a book for pleasure. If they buy a book, it's a book for school or a book for helping them with their job. But a book for pleasure is just, that's a first world problem or first world luxury, not a problem. Okay. Another one of my favorites, Queen Elizabeth. I picked her because we just had a royal wedding this weekend, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I did not watch it. I did not watch William and Kate's wedding, but I did watch their mom's wedding, Princess Diana and Prince Charles, way, way back. I think I was in 4th grade. Anyway, so I thought Queen Elizabeth, you might like to learn about her. She's kind of the start of it all. She is a descendant, or Harry and William and Prince Charles and his siblings are all descendants of Queen Elizabeth. Even the Queen Mom, Queen Elizabeth. I think she's the Queen Elizabeth II. This is the first Queen Elizabeth. Okay. I picked Lucille Ball because I love Lucille Ball. My mom and I used to watch I Love Lucy all the time. If you get a chance to watch an episode of I Love Lucy, I suggest that you do it because she's very, very funny. And she is, I like strong women. I like independent women. And she went on to make other television series. She kind of set the standard. So I like her. Read Lucille Ball. Sally Ride, another strong woman. Okay, she's a female astronaut. I think she was the first female astronaut. Pretty cool. I like that. We have who was Amelia Earhart? Yeah, she's a former Boilermaker. She taught at Purdue. The president of Purdue went to find her, saw her speak at a seminar, and asked her to come teach. And she was the director of the women's studies. That's kind of cool. Okay, I like Amelia Earhart. Oh, Walt Disney. You know I love Walt Disney and all things Mickey Mouse. He dreamed big, and he gave us Mickey Mouse. So everything we do today that's Walt Disney, remember that it started with just a mouse. So even big dreams, if you have big dreams, they all have to start small. Okay, so this started with a mouse. Look where we are now. Love Walt Disney. Beatrix Potter, the author of Peter Rabbit. We are watching that movie in the library. It's a new movie, but it's based on the books, The Tales of Peter Rabbit, and there's books about Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail. So this is Beatrix Potter. Okay, she wrote those books. Another strong woman. Anne Frank. I love Anne Frank. Anne Frank didn't realize she was going to be a heroine. Anne Frank didn't know she was going to be an inspiration to millions of people. She was just a small girl trying to survive a really rough situation. So read Anne Frank's story. It's amazing. Abigail Adams, strong woman. Love her. She helped our second president, John Adams. She was the first lady to live in the White House. In the War of 1812, she knew the British were coming, and she decided that it was her duty to save as much of the White House as she could, because the British came in and pretty much destroyed it. They set it on fire, and she saved a portrait of the presidential portrait of George Washington, kind of a big deal. And she also advised her husband on matters of the country, which was very unusual for a woman in that day. He was very progressive. He was a smart man to listen to his wife and take her advice. Okay. Bruce Springsteen. Well, I picked him because Mr. Purley, the guy who hired me, he loves Bruce Springsteen. He's the boss. So I like Bruce Springsteen. Mother Teresa. Oh my gosh. She spent her life serving others. That's not a strong woman. I don't know what is. She set the bar high for what being good and kind and loving is. Read about Mother Teresa. The Wright brothers. We've talked about the Wright brothers before. Remember when they would go out from their bicycle shop every day? They took extra materials with them every day so they didn't have to run back to the shop when something broke. They knew that they weren't going to get this on the first try. So they didn't plan to fail, but they planned to be prepared. Okay? They were prepared. They did what they needed to do. And they invented the first plane. Pretty cool. And Wilbur Wright was born very close to my hometown in Newcastle. So we have a school, an elementary school in my hometown called Wilbur Wright. We have some parks that are named after him. We actually have, you can actually go visit his birthplace. So it's kind of cool. Wilbur Wright, the Wright brothers. Stanley. All right. Everybody knows Stanley. I picked him because we just have the Marvels, the Avengers movie out, Infinity War, or Infinity. I don't remember what it's called, but Stan Lee has created all of those characters. So everybody loves Stan Lee. Gloria Steinem, she's another strong female. She's not quiet. She stands up and fights for equal rights for women. Okay. Because sometimes women don't have equal rights, and we need somebody to fight for us, and she does that. Okay. George Washington. I picked this for two reasons. One, because I visited his house in Mount Vernon, which is very cool. Also, my Gracie is going to George Washington University, and on the campus, right in the middle of campus, is a big statue, a bust. A bust is from the head up of George Washington. So she's going to be a colonial. So we say, go Colonials, go Gracie. But read about George Washington. Okay. Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall, another strong female. She's made great progress and advancements in the study of animal rights. She's a world famous scientist. People respect her. Okay. They don't respect her because she's a woman. They respect her because she's worked hard and she knows what she's talking about. That's kind of cool. Neil Armstrong. I picked Neil Armstrong because we've talked about him this year. He was the first man to walk on the moon with Buzz Aldrin. Okay. Buzz Aldrin was the original Buzz Lightyear. Okay. But Neil Armstrong, because my son loves to learn about space, and I kind of have that same fascination with it. Also, he was very courageous. What they were doing had never been done before. So I like books about heroes and courageous people who face their fears head on and don't let them stop it. Their fears stop them. Okay. Three more I have. Sacagawea, an Indian guide who went with Lewis and Clark and helped them out tremendously. Lewis and Clark would have been a mess if it hadn't been for Sacagawea. Strong woman way back then. Next one, Dr. Seuss. Who doesn't love Dr. Seuss? I love Green Eggs and Ham. It's one of my favorite books. It was the first book my kids ever learned to read. Dr. Seuss. Who says nonsense can't be fun? Okay. He did what he loved. Find out about Dr. Seuss. And last but not least, because Han Solo is coming out this Friday. And you know Mrs. Moore has a thing. She loves Han Solo. She likes Star Wars. So George Lucas, he started it all. Star Wars was his baby. So come in the library. I have so many more. I have the whole set. That was my goal last year when I bought books, was to buy the whole set of the who was, who is, what was. We have books about places. I think the only two I don't have are Who Was Jesus and Who Was Princess Diana, because I think Princess Diana is a new one. Maybe your new librarian, Mrs. Kaiser, will order that for you this year. I didn't order Who Was Jesus because I haven't had a chance to read it, and I want to make sure they're being fair. Sometimes books written about Jesus are not fair, are not accurate. They're kind of, I don't know. I want to read it before I buy it to make sure that it's good, it's well written, and fair and honest. So that's it for today. This is kind of a long video. I hope you stuck with me to see the books at the end. I'm going to try and do some more of these this afternoon so I can get some more of them up for you to read and listen to this summer. Otherwise, I'll see you soon, probably in computer lab or library. Have a great day. Learn something new. You can always learn something new. Bye.